PR Connections Radio presents this episode of the PR Connections podcast is brought to you by Classy Communications PR and Advertising. Classy Communications provides public relations and marketing solutions for businesses, professionals, and nonprofit organizations. They can deliver the true meaning of your business with press releases, social media marketing, web development, email marketing, book publishing, and much more. Wherever your potential clients are, they can help you connect with them. Visit classycommunications.net to learn more about their suite of services that can help your business stand out from the rest. Classy Communications is your solution for business success.
Hello there, and welcome to the Sunday Morning Chat Series with Jesse Oakley III, and I am your host, Jesse Oakley III. Now, the purpose of the Sunday Morning Chat Series is for me to interview a plethora of positive people that are making big differences in the community. Whether they're speakers, writers, leaders, entertainers, athletes, you will hear from them first right here on the Sunday Morning Chat Series. And today we have ourselves a wonderful episode. Now, for all the happy people out there, I told you that I belong to a wonderful organization called Toastmasters International, and I've been a part of it. My history has been there for 30 years ago when I first joined my own speechcraft when I was a civil engineering student at the University of Nevada, Las Vegas. And there's so many amazing people that I got a chance to meet along the way. And our guest, I've known this gentleman for a long time, and he was there not only in speechcraft, but also during my time when I first got started, my home Toastmaster Club with Star Masters Toastmasters. And this is a wonderful institution and wonderful, fantastic gentleman that I have here on the program. And I'm delighted to get a chance to interview him. And please help me welcome distinguished Toastmaster and past region advisor, Narayanan Doraswamy. Narayan, how's it going?
Hey, Jesse, it's going great. It's so good to see you. So good to be on this show. I have seen several episodes of your show. I'm looking forward to another stellar episode as well.
Oh my goodness, I'm looking forward to stellar episode 2. And without any delays, are you ready?
I am absolutely ready, sir.
All right, so let's go ahead and let's chat. Now the first question I do have for you is, how did you get your start in this wonderful organization? Take us to day one.
Yes, sir. Well, I have before day one, I have to go back to day minus 300 or 3,000 because my first experience in public speaking was back when I was in all of like 5th grade, when my father used to, he always advocated that in the 20th century, that communication skills are the most important skills that are going to, help us in the future. So every year when our school back in Mumbai celebrated Independence Day on the 15th of August, they needed some kid to give a speech about the Indian flag and the country and so on. So my father would write down a small little speech and I would memorize it and I would stand in front of the school and give that speech. So that was what started me into the whole realm of public speaking. I would compete in religious recitation contests and things like that. So the bug of the contests were also there in me ahead of time as well. When I came to the U.S. and I started working, my first company was called Morrison Knudsen Corporation, a civil engineering construction company. And pretty much the first week when I started working there was a sign in the kitchen that said, "New Toastmasters Clubs forming. Talk to this so-and-so person." And so I was like, what is Toastmasters? I don't know what that is. Well, so I talked to somebody and they said, oh, it's a organization where we regularly meet and we give speeches and people listen to us and give us feedback. Being the last born of 4 and being the only male child, I was always the brat, and also meant that my sisters never listened to me. They basically said, oh, you're just a baby. So I always grew up with the need for being listened to. So when this Toastmaster Club, they told me, you give a speech and we will shut up and listen to you. I was like, sign me up right now. I joined Toastmasters not because I had a fear of public speaking, but because I needed people to listen to me. And so I joined Toastmasters almost 30 odd years ago, 34 years ago. I have been a Toastmaster ever since all through my travels all across the globe, we have always been Toastmasters. We have never not been a Toastmaster. So that's my pretty much my day one. I still am friends with the very first lady who gave me feedback during our chartering ceremony. I gave my icebreaker. Her name is Janice Hom, and she lives in San Francisco, and she's my Facebook friend. And absolutely, we have had great times. And also the area director at the time, who is now a past international director, Joe Madley, was the area director who helped start our club, and we are still friends. One of the things that absolutely thrills me about Toastmasters is the long-term friendships that we form. So, and I really cherish that.
I tell you, 34 years, that's quite the journey within Toastmasters. And I say this, you have inspired a plethora of Toastmasters wherever you go, including this one right here. So I gotta say, thank you for your journey. And this is truly, truly phenomenal. And I always tell everybody the journey always continues. Now, the second question I do have for you is, you have a plethora of legacy leaderships, whether it be a distinguished Toastmaster, a division governor or director, district director, and an early region advisor. Now, what are you doing right now to actually contribute within Toastmasters International? What are you up to?
Well, this year, since my region advisor service ended on June 30th, my PQD from my home district, District 29, asked me if I would be willing to do something for her PQD team. And I told her that I would do anything that did not prevent me from competing, because competing is my first true love. So I basically want to compete, and I want to get back into the scene. I feel I'm so rusty in competition, so I want to get back into the scene, feel the thrills of it. But I agreed to be her TLI dean. So I'm her Toastmasters Leadership Institute Dean, which means I help put together the Toastmaster Leadership Institute season. We just completed a very successful Toastmasters Leadership Institute season. We've got over 80% of the officers trained, and almost 95% of all the presidents and VP educations trained, which basically is a remarkable record for District 29 for the past few years. So, well, one of the things I think is because we gave them good training, we gave them good feedback, and so we got some good feedback as well. And I think that's the reason why this TLI season is going well. I'm in the middle of preparing for the next TLI session, which is coming really fast. But in the meantime, I'm also competing in the online speech contest, which our district is doing in the fall this year. So I'm preparing for that. My first competition, my area contest, will be next Saturday, a week from today. So I'm also practicing for that as well. So essentially, I still stay active in Toastmasters as well.
Again, those are amazing positions, and going into competition, I tell you, the journey always continues for everybody in Toastmasters, and it's always great to hear that after the term as regional advisors, you're still making a big difference. You're still making an impressive footprint on so many people within Toastmasters community. This is truly great to hear.
Thank you.
Now, you're welcome. You're welcome, my friend. Now, another question I do have for you is, whether it is 34 years of your Toastmasters journey or 23 of mine, we always go through different challenges within where we're going to Toastmasters community. Now, when it comes to different challenges, when it comes to this organization, what have been some of the challenges that you were able to overcome since you joined Toastmasters?
Well, challenges that this is one of those challenges which is going to be pretty ongoing for me, is that I have a loud mouth. Which means that sometimes I say things that I later on wish, I watch and edit the things as they're coming out of my mouth, and by that time I can't do anything about it because I've already said those things. So I remember that during my PQD year, I majorly teed off my division directors by something that I said, and I wasn't even thinking that it would be so bad. But then it turned out that it was a major deal, and I had to go back and do a lot of apologies and mea culpas to make sure that that was a leadership lesson that I needed to learn. And by that, in that time, I hadn't learned that lesson. Basically, that if you are in a leadership position, if you're in an elected leadership position, people are watching, people are hearing, people are judging, people are evaluating every single move you make. You're no longer in the obscurity of being a plain old Toastmaster. You are now a district leader that is expected to set the tone and the example. So that got me immediately to start thinking about what am I saying and where am I saying it? Be aware of if I'm making any comments, am I making any comments, that can be misconstrued? And, I understand how our nation's political leaders have to, temper what they say, because everything that they say becomes a matter of record. And,
Yes.
I have become a lot more cautious in what I express in public and things like that. And I'm sure you have learned some of those lessons as well. But that's one of the biggest challenges that I've had, is basically shooting off my mouth and having to learn not to do that.
And I agree with you 100%, because when you're in a leadership role, whether it be an area director, a division director, a district director, region advisor, or international director, or even international president, the higher you go, the more intense the magnifying glass is. And being a district governor I'll call it district governor because I was district governor back in 2013.
Right.
The magnifying glass was this big. Then when you jump to region advisor, it got this big.
Yeah.
When you're international director, it gets this big.
Mm-hmm.
And international president, don't get me started on that, because I'm sure the international president or international president have a much bigger magnifying glass.
Yeah.
And the key thing is, once your service is done, the magnifying glass doesn't go away, because so many people out there look at you as an institution. They look at you as one of those people to look forward to. And I believe that the one person I thought about, especially when the role of international director, was Don Inch.
Mm-hmm.
Don Inch, a Toastmaster for 63 years. And I'm sure that he has a magnifying glass. He always was prim and proper and had the suits going. And, especially he and another past international director who recently passed, Herb Nowlin. Also had those magnifying glasses on them. And being a past region advisor, a past district director, or past international director, or even past international president, you may be done with your term, but the magnifying glass always stays. And what you say, it has to be carried very, very sensitively.
I know. Those two, Herb and Don, they were quite a pair. I remember sitting next to them in some conference in the during the contest season. They were giggling to each other, talking something, and we didn't know if they were making fun of the speaker or they were just sharing a private joke. They were quite a pair. Yeah, Herb and Don. Yeah.
Yeah. May they both rest comfortably.
Yeah.
All right. Now, another question I do have for you are the best moments within Toastmasters. And being with a combined 50 plus years between us within Toastmasters, we have a plethora of best moments that are out there. Now, when you think of best moments in your journey within Toastmasters, what comes to mind?
Well, the first thing that comes to mind is competing, and basically, I always used to have this friendly competition with a fellow Toastmaster, George Gilbert.
Oh, yes.
Yeah, George and I used to compete in every contest, and we always like, okay, I won some and he won some and so on. So we always were in that healthy competition. And the year that I won the district and went on to the regional competition was the year that I beat him. And so I was on a roll. My speech was phenomenal. In fact, I look at the speech again, even though the recording was poor, but I look at the speech again, and once again I go, wow, that was an inspired speech. And so going all the way to the regional, at that time I think it was called the regional quarterfinals or semi, I don't know what they were called back then, when they used to have a regional conference. Yeah. And the life-changing moment for me happened because Darren LaCroix was the keynote speaker of the regional conference in Las Vegas. Ooh. And Darren at that time had just fresh off of his, world championship victory. It had been a few years, so he's been getting a lot of his speaking engagement. So he, during his keynote speech, talked about how that the higher you go in any sport or any expertise, the more coaches you need, not less.
Yes.
You need more coaches, more coaching, the higher you go. And he gave the example of a golfer, Tiger Woods, who basically he said he had like 15 coaches who were looking not only at his swing but everything else, his physical body, his physical fitness, all of those things. So, and he said, if you want to go high in any profession, any job, you need to surround yourself with bigger and better, more coaches. And that got me to thinking, how do I, if I, at that time, winning the world championship was the foremost in my mind. I had just placed second to Jim Tucker.
Ooh.
So I was like, wow, why should I, what do I do? And so I was like, I need coaches. I need a bunch of people to coach me so I can become a better speaker. And where am I going to get all these coaches? And that's when I came up with this brilliant idea of, how about if we had a Toastmasters club that was full of coaches
Oh, yes.
that would coach each other to help each other grow in the art of public speaking. That was the genesis of Jackpot Speakers. And at that time, I what I did was sent out an email to all the Toastmaster buddies that I had at the time and said, "Hey, I'm interested in starting a club like this. Are you interested?" One of the first emails I got back was from Ron Lewison, again,
Ooh, yes.
deceased now, Ron Lewison, who
Yep.
basically said, at that year he was an area governor. He says, I'm ready to quit area governorship and join this club because this is what I really want in my life. And so he became the biggest sponsor of this idea. And that's how Jackpot Speakers was born. We met twice a week, twice a month, once to actually watch past world champions and past speakers, and the others were meeting to actually give the speeches and get dedicated feedback. And when I think about all the people who have walked through Jackpot Speakers over the years, it gives me no extent of pride. In fact, if I say that if there's one thing that I'm thankful for that I created during my career in Toastmasters, it has no doubt got to be Jackpot Speakers.
And I tell you, being one of the alumni, I used to be a member of Jackpot Speakers myself, and I tell you what, I had taken ideas from Jackpot and applied them to other clubs as well, because you have a great Toastmaster club if you have ideas that you can actually use for other clubs and locations, and I do that with Jackpot. And I've been many times where I've been on a hot seat for Jackpot, and
Right.
most people know the hot seat is where you get a bunch of evaluations come right at you when
Right.
it comes to actually sharpening your sword, and you take the notes in there. And actually, my home club, Star Masters, we did not have the hot seat; we had the lukewarm seat.
Yeah.
We had that going, and I can't tell you what, Jackpot is an amazing club, an amazing club to check out. And this is the brainchild of Narayan, and without you, Jackpot wouldn't have existed. And again, thank you for that contribution, my man.
Yeah. We have a similar club that we started here in Virginia. Now that we are in Virginia, in District 29, we have a club called Winner's Circle, which was formed. I would say it's the child of Jackpot Speakers because it has the same principles. It has the same thing. In fact, it meets right here in my basement, right across from where I'm sitting. So we meet in my home. Luckily, we have a large basement where about 20 people can sit and listen to speeches. And so we meet in a hybrid fashion as well. And Winner Circle is doing very well. And we have so many people who have actually gone to the semifinals or the quarterfinals through Winner Circle here as well, just as the same as with Jackpot Speakers. So I think that the results speak for itself. That model works because the more detailed and the more dedicated feedback you receive, the faster you grow as a speaker. Sometimes some of us can't just get that 3-minute evaluation and be okay with it. We need way more than that 3-minute, and we need dedicated telling, here, stand here, do this, move here. And rather than just giving you, well, it sounded good, it was good, maybe one thing, they want more dedicated feedback than that. And it's not for everybody, but if you are interested in that kind of thing, Jackpot Speakers or Winner Circle is your club for you.
Ain't that the truth? Ain't that the truth? Ain't that the truth? Oh my goodness. Now, another question I do have for you is, let's say you've accomplished a whole lot within this organization of Toastmasters, whether it's creating clubs, towing leadership positions, and competing. And there's that one young Toastmaster out there that looks at you and say, wow, I want to be just like that man right there, Narayan Doraswamy. And that one person comes up to you and says, Narayan, you're an inspiration with growing clubs, with being a leader, and with competing. And you are an inspiration to me. And I want to be right where you are, and I want to be in your shoes. If you can offer any advice to that person who just spoke to you, what advice would you give that person?
I would tell that person, and I have done that for a few of the Toastmasters in the past. What I would tell them basically is Toastmasters is not an education program. It is in one sense, but it's not only an education program. It's not. It's not a class. It's not a, even though we call ourselves a club, it's not like a club in the sense that we go there to party. Even though partying is part of Toastmasters, but what it is an opportunity for self growth. It's an opportunity for you to take on yourself, take on your own abilities, and ask yourself, what else can I do here? What else do I want to do? So I tell people, bring in not only your public speaking dreams, because that making that butterflies fly in formation, getting a little bit of confidence in front of the audience is very easy to get. In my, if you're not a Toastmaster, you probably think it's really hard, but get used to that after a while. After a while, then you have to challenge yourself to bigger and better things in Toastmasters. So I tell people, that young person, Toastmasters is a journey. It's not a destination. It's a journey on which it is basically your life journey. And I always tell people, if you are an engineer, you belong to, like civil engineering, you belong to ASCE, American Society of Civil Engineers. If you are a project manager, you belong to Project Management Institute. Why? Not because they give you anything, but because you, as a professional, you want to be with other professionals who can help you grow in your career. Similarly, Toastmasters is a professional organization. As long as you have public speaking needs, as long as you have communication needs, you should belong to Toastmasters, because Toastmasters is the place where you can hone your communication skills. You can improve your leadership skills so that you can make a larger difference in the world. Because communication, like my father said, is really the key to everything that we accomplish as human beings.
Fantastic, fantastic. Oh my goodness. I'm sure that young Toastmasters will take a lot in and definitely enjoy that journey, because the journey is always better than the end. And you just dropped lots of amazing advice. I would say advice bombs are right there. That's truly fantastic.
Boom, boom, boom.
Boom, boom, boom. Exactly. All right. Now, you mentioned about Toastmasters and Jackpot and District 29 and Winner's Circle, and there's somebody out there that would like to say, I really like to check this clubs and this community out. Where can I actually go? And if you were to meet people that want to know where you can go, where can they go?
Well, nowadays, in the days of AI, all you have to do is Toastmasters Club near me, and it'll automatically bring you a bunch of clubs that meet right around your neighborhood that you can start looking at. If you don't want to do the AI, go to toastmasters.org, and there pretty much in the homepage on the top, you have a find a club button. Click on that and type in your zip code or your address, and it'll give you the same results. It'll give you the number of clubs that meet nearby your location, and then you can pick one that also meets in a time frame that's appropriate for you to attend, and go attend. Just go to a Toastmaster meeting. Go to several Toastmaster meetings. Don't join the first club you meet. Just go see 3 or 4 clubs in your area. If you're lucky enough, you may have 10, 15 clubs to go. If you don't want to do that, ask one of your district leaders. You can go to the district pages, you can type in Toastmasters district near me, and that will tell you what Toastmaster district is nearby, and contact a district leader, and they can give you suggestions on what clubs you might want to go try. But the point is, you have to take that first step, right? A journey of 1,000 miles begins with that single step. You have to take the first step to reach out, because, like it or not, Toastmasters, we are not very good at publicizing ourselves and publicizing all the capabilities, because we think it dangerously borders on being sales. And I keep telling them it's not sales. What you do as a Toastmaster is invite people to a party where they can have fun and learn and grow. Why wouldn't you want your friends to come and be part of that party? But again, different people think differently. But that's essentially the best way to find the Toastmasters Club. Go to the toastmasters.org, click on Find a Club, and find a club.
See, it's that simple. Find a club. Go to toastmasters.org, type the Find a Club button, and there's a good chance that Toastmasters Club may be near you to check out. Now, this section of the episode, we are at the shout out portion, and it gives you an opportunity to give a shout out for making one's journey possible. If you could give shout outs to many people as you possibly can, who would you like to give a shout out to?
My first shout out would be to you, sir. Because you have been such an inspiration to me, and to the moment you became an international director. I said, I know him. I knew him when. It was so great to know that, to see somebody that you've been, and I call myself present at the birth. I didn't bring you to Toastmasters, but I was there when you first started. So that gives me a sense of pride as well. I would shout out to so many Toastmasters in Las Vegas. The Parkers, Sherry and Bill, Linda Bound, who's not a Toastmaster anymore. But there's so many people that names that doesn't immediately come to mind. Growing old, you see, but also here in District 29, some of the past district leaders, what I consider my personal mentor, Dwight Yamada, past region advisor. He was the district director when I was his club growth director, and also past international director. Of course, he's passed now. Dana Richard, because he was the PQD when I was the club growth director. We were a formidable team. It was Dwight Yamada, Dana Richard, and myself. And I just absolutely want to shout out for all of them and many other. I had the good fortune and blessing to actually meet the first two Helens in Toastmasters. I met Helen Blanchard back when our headquarters was in California, and Helen Burkett was a member of District 29. Helen Burkett was very fond of saying she was the first Helen, but it just turned out that Helen Blanchard's application went into Toastmasters first. And so Helen Burkett, I remember Helen Burkett. She's sadly no longer with us as well. But again, just not to name drop, but those two Helens were a great thing. And of course, most importantly, my wife, Cheryl Baker, the way she joined Toastmasters was, do you promise to love, honor, and join Toastmasters? It was almost part of the wedding vows as well. So absolutely shout out to Cheryl Baker as well. And the current region advisor, Betty Sinclair. Betty Sinclair was my PQD when I was district director. We were so close that my wife, Cheryl, used to call her my Toastmaster wife, because I was talking to her a lot more than I was actually talking to my wife, Cheryl, that year when I was district director and she was program quality director. And of course, Mr. Rick Taylor as well, who was my CGD as well as I went through. So a lot of people, hundreds of thousands of people that I would love to recognize here. But, A, I don't remember all the names off the top of my head right now. And B, I don't think we have that much time.
Hey man, we always have time to acknowledge great people, and it goes to show you that no one person can do it by him or herself. It takes a team, it takes a network, it takes a community, it takes mentors, it takes a whole group of people to actually make people look good. And it's like the shampoo commercial says, if you don't look good, we don't look good.
You don't look good. Yeah.
Exactly.
Revlon. Yeah, I know. I remember that. Yeah.
Yep. And ironic for me to talk about shampoos right here, right now.
Yeah. Underutilized skill for you. Yeah.
Oh, tell me about it. All right, now there's one more question I have to ask you. And this question will be addressed to the people that watch this episode and the people that subscribe to this channel. And they're called the happy people. And each episode, the happy people are inspired and motivated by the quote that I get from guests. So if you could offer one more inspiring words of wisdom to my group and my crew that watch this show, the happy people, what would it be?
Well, if I had to give a quote, I have many quotes, but the one that I would always say, whatever you can or think you can, begin it. Boldness has genius, power, and magic in it. It was said by Hans Goethe. I think I'm pronouncing it right, Goethe, who basically talked about it. And I always say, start something, be in action. If you want to learn how to speak, if you want to get rid of those fears, start. Always action. You can always course correct once you are in action. So that's the key. Always be in action.
And Narayan, that is a perfect bookend to a wonderful episode. And on behalf of all the happy people that are watching this, we thank you, Narayan, for being a part of today's episode of the Sunday Morning Chat Series with Jesse Oakley III. Thank you, Narayan.
Thank you, Jesse, and thank you to all happy people.
All right, and this concludes this episode of the Sunday Morning Chat Series. For more information about this, go to prconnectionsradio.com, and you'll also hear from other podcasts, including this one, the Sunday Morning Chat Series. But wait, there's more. You can actually go to YouTube and type in PR Connections and check out more of the podcasts, including this one, the Sunday Morning Chat Series. But wait, there's even more. You can actually go to YouTube and type in Sunday Morning Chat Series and click on that YouTube page, subscribe, link, comment, and follow those episodes that I've done in the past from 2020, 2021, 2024, and right here in 2025. And you can actually check out all of these information and everything that's out there waiting for you, the happy people. And this concludes this episode of the Sunday Morning Chat Series. Stay tuned for our next episode, which will take place next Sunday at 9 a.m. Pacific Standard Time. Until next time, you take care and have yourselves a great day. Bye.
Bye.
PR Connections Radio thanks you for watching this podcast. Check out more episodes of this show and our others at prconnectionsradio.com.